Well, I'm not sure. Like my talk was announced in Dutch or in English. In Dutch. Dutch. English.
In Dutch.
I will speak Flemish for you. No, so if that's all right for everyone, I'll try to speak English as much and as good as possible. But you will hear I'm not a native speaker, and of course, if there are questions from the audience here, you can also address these questions in Dutch. I have the goal of introducing actually the two main topics of today. Actually, this event is a combined effort of both being the Covideos project, which is actually the initiator of the other European projects as well. And the European project is called, like Liliana mentioned, AgileXR. Who am I? So I am Jos van Kouwenbergen. I teach at RISO. So I'm a teacher at RISO. I used to teach the best course that exists, of course, physics. I was a physics teacher. Then 7 years ago, I actually started teaching STEM. And I started with the support of some colleagues, setting up some projects. In the beginning with the big support of the province of West-Flanders, and we have to say things little by little get out of hand. And now I'm actually still a full-time member of the RISO community, but I'm not teaching anymore. I'm only facilitating innovation projects on the crossing of the field of work and school. Always on strategic topics that the school wants to prioritize. And I have to say, my love is in project-based working, because I'm a firm believer of the power of project-based working, and also the methodologies that are connected or that we can leverage to make project-based working better. That's being like design thinking for me personally. I'm a big fan of design thinking, and now thanks to Liliana, that was able and wanted to join RISO to collaborate both in the Covideos project and the AgileXR. We have the opportunity as RISO, but also like in the province of West-Flanders, to introduce Agile learning, which for me is a mind-blowing methodology to promote self-directed education, but also just more self-directedness in every student and at every level. And I hope until the end of the day, we also can convince you of that fact. Okay, why these projects? Well, quite simple. It was myself at the start that was actually quite struck by everything that happened during the first lockdown in March 2020. Yeah. And we all know that powerful education is like dynamic, requires a lot of collaboration. But the moment we were forced to shift our teaching to online teaching, I was like confronted, like, and myself included, like, okay, I'm teaching physics to my students and even STEM courses, so project-based courses by nature. And I was there in front of the screen, and I like noticed that I'm the only one that is signaling and teaching to the students, and that actually the two-way conversations and collaboration, real collaboration, like was completely gone. And actually, I was really frustrated by the fact. And I knew Liliana before, and I know that agile working and agile learning actually found a lot of different solutions during the lockdown that I saw in my environment. So that was for me the trigger. Hey, no, we have expertise, maybe not here in the province of West-Flanders and not in RISO, but we can really learn something from that. And that's how the idea of Covideos came into existence, as like, how can we like collaborate with other really cool teachers in province of West-Flanders and listen to them and gather a kind of best and good practices of how to go about setting up project-based learning in an online environment, because we have still so much to learn. for that. That's how Covideos started. And actually, when we dived a little bit into the possibilities of agile learning while working on Covideos, we thought, okay, the province it's a great resource to do something local, but we don't have enough means, like financial means, to really integrate the knowledge of agile learning into all of our schools, let alone into the province. So actually, the Covideos project was the tipping point that supported writing, and that I met Liliana, and that we could write a European project, and actually more or less on the same topic, but of course with different priorities. Yeah. So that's how all things moved, and that's why we are here today for Covideos, the first project. This is near the end stage of the project. The project officially closes at the end of this year. We will do some minor actions maybe afterwards. Of course, the dissemination will just continue to happen, as is today part of it. For AgileXR, we are more or less in the beginning phase. We did a lot of research. We worked behind the scenes. We worked on a lot of resources, and now we will push these resources back to the community in the next year. Okay, first project that I would like to introduce is the Covideos. So what is it all about? Like I mentioned before, it's about gathering and sharing knowledge and good practices in education about online project-based learning, but from and for teachers, not like a really theoretical thing. I just mailed teachers that I know from the past and said, hey, how do you go about setting up project-based learning in this setting? And that's how we actually co-created 6 projects with teachers that can be facilitated for distance and in-person situations. Then we are finishing an ebook. We are finishing an ebook on the new practices we developed, like especially the new practices that Liliana offers to the project and offers to the province about Agile and Agile learning. That's not published yet. And we, of course, now do an event to disseminate a little bit the knowledge, but as I mentioned, the dissemination process will just continue after this event, because we also need to finish some projects, like they're finished, but we need to gather all the information and put it nicely online. Okay. I just want to make this project more concrete by going to the website of Design Tools, which was actually the project that came before the Covideos project, also sponsored and made possible with the support of the province of West-Flanders. And there you have a tab, the Covideos tab, and this is the place where we gather all the information about the Covideos project. Let me make this thing tangible. I apologize for the Spanish people online. The Covideos project is sponsored by the province of West-Flanders, so we only disseminate these project results in Dutch. Okay? So maybe, and West-Flanders specifically, that's another Dutch. Now, maybe I will switch sometimes for 5 minutes in Dutch, because these results are in Dutch. So what we really try to do, like we went with a team with 3 people from Riso, we tried to gather information in the province and looked outward and said, okay, what are some schools doing well and where are some schools lacking and getting behind? And the official goal was just to co-create 6 projects, but that also got a little bit out of hand because we feel it was a big struggle. I have to say, the project was a really big struggle in the sense that it was really hard to convince teachers to co-create projects with us during times of lockdown or just after lockdown. And I understand that, because if you know the context in Flanders, we are modernizing the secondary education. Teachers already need to do so many things, and teachers already, that's a colleague, I know. Teachers need to do already so many things that it's really hard to ask for an extra engagement of them. And what we actually did with the team was like, okay, what's blocking them? And can we like deliver and make solutions that make their life easier? So we have created not 6, but 9 projects. Not all 9 projects are facilitated online because we didn't have the possibility. We were out of the lockdown. Teachers weren't up to it because the organization didn't support it back then, for example. But we have also created a lot of other deliverables in this project, and I would love to share them. First of all, the goal was, like we said, we want to increase the knowledge about project-based learning in the province, and we wanted to do that in a digital-first way. So we created a email course. An email course is just you subscribe, and it will be for the 3rd round live in January because we did 2 pilot rounds. An email course is just 6 weeks in a row that a teacher will receive an email with a video with my face on it and my hair during the lockdown. Don't be, you won't recognize me actually. And we try to make the professional development as easy as possible. And after consulting with teachers, we found out that email, unless we all say we have too many emails, but it is actually, according to our research, a great way to get knowledge in front of a teacher in a very easy and scalable way. So we created a mini email course on the topic of project-based learning. The second skill we see, the second lever actually to get project-based learning to on the next level is Mural and Miro. Who in this room knows the applications Mural and Miro? Well, still some growth possible. I love Mural and Miro. And I'm really a big fan of it. I'm actually now working with, I'm an ambassador of Mural, and I'm working with the team of Mural to see how we can market the application more for education. Mural and Miro is just an online board. You have many, I know you have many, but these tools offer some additional benefits. It makes it very easy to facilitate online meetings. It is a white canvas, as is like just Google Maps. You can scroll, zoom in and zoom out as much as you can, as you want, and you can place post-its. You can vote. You can actually make collaboration, two-way communication very easy, online and offline. I know Erwin from previous projects, but through Erwin, I also found out that in the Netherlands, a lot of teachers are using Mural and Miro, those online whiteboards, actually for everything, to document a whole project. Like instead of using just local files or Google Docs or Microsoft Office, they see the Mural board as the one-stop place where you can upload documents, work in a really visual way, and make it interactive. So we developed also an introductory course for teachers for using Mural and Miro, because we saw that could help a lot of teachers. You don't have to be an online or in lockdown. Let's hope we don't have to be in lockdown again, but you can use it in class and during distance learning. It's the perfect thing also to enable hybrid education. Then, of course, agile working is the next lever we see to enable project-based working, and the fourth lever is design thinking. And the website design tools is actually a core design thinking solution. I will close my topic with sharing actually what design tools is. Okay, let's continue. What did we actually develop? We developed a project planner in Mural, of course. What else? It is a template, and it is a process that actually came out of the 9 projects we co-created with the hi Sophie. I also know Sophie. with the teachers, it's a big PDF. And it's actually, you can use it as a Mural template, and it guides teachers to co-create a project in a very easy way. The advantage of this thing is that teachers can co-create, co-design a project by working asynchronously. It's a difficult word, even in English or Dutch, it's the same. So because we encountered the fact, like during the co-creation process, when we wanted to design multidisciplinary projects, it's always the same message. Oh, I don't have the time to meet with my colleagues to talk about this topic and to actually start designing a combined project. So that's why, out of this project, we said, okay, this is the process we found pragmatic, maybe not pedagogically the best, but a thing that is co-created by and for teachers. I'm pretty sure that this can be pedagogically can be much more robust. But where you start with the project sketch, and we mean it with the sketch, it's just like you could write it on a piece of toilet paper. That's the idea, that we actually set up a brainstorm with teachers, not in a synchronous way. It's just an email. We all do it using email. Teachers add ideas for projects or topics they would like to address in a project. So it starts with really small ideas. Then we have one design session where we actually target what course do we want to want to participate in this project, and what kind of lesson topic do we want to get approved. So it is, I have to say, this board is a teacher-centered solution, not per se a student-centered solution. We want to make it, with this tool, easier for teachers to design a project. So they can add the name of a course, they can add course topics just in the brainstorm phase, and then they can actually try to match, and that can be done in an asynchronous way. And in the middle piece of the pie, they can say, hey, I see a link between these lesson topics, and I need to teach them in the next 3 months. So I can put these lesson topics together, and maybe we can come out with a project of these different lesson topics. And then actually starts a project design process in 2 steps. One, pure pragmatic way, like what is the logic sequence of a project, and we use design thinking methods of the design tool solution that you can plug and play into this canvas. And then you have a practical planning tool, because you have to spread out a project in time, that you are sure that one teacher will tackle this subject and the other teacher will tackle this subject, and maybe a teacher needs to switch their planning to be able that the project can continue. But in practice, it's a big hassle to accomplish this. And we found out, we made this after we co-created 4 projects. So we tested this with 5 schools. We found out that a lot of schools, not all of them, but a lot of schools found this helpful because it speeds up the process for them to actually come together with colleagues, online or offline, and co-create a project. There is much more to it than, of course, the eye needs right now. And that's why we made the email course to explain how teachers can use the board in the 6 lessons. The email course, you just will be able to subscribe. It's now closed because we're finalizing the feedback from the 2nd pilot round, and will be, I guess, online before Christmas and live. So you will be able to follow the email course in a couple of in January 2024 again for the public. Another thing is this one, an Ikigai canvas. The most important thing in a project for project-based learning is that project-based learning is in line and is motivating for the pupils. So what do you need to do? You need to connect with the pupils. And believe it or not, but that is sometimes hard to do. To pick a subject that also is something that really motivates the kids and is in line with, of course, with the standards that teachers want to tackle. So the first step in the canvas I showed you in a bit was actually the hardest step for teachers. They found it really hard to do. So we used the concept of ikigai. Do you know the concept of ikigai? Ikigai is yeah, of course, because Edwin told me about it. Ikigai is the idea. It's a Japanese concept that you have to find the image. Ikigai is the concept that you actually do something where you can get paid for, where you're good at, which is, can offer added value to the society, and where your personal strengths lie. So these core things come together, and if you have a job doing that, those 4 elements, then you are in your ikigai spot for that. That's the concept. That's the idea. We use that concept to do exactly the same, but like to try to involve pupils more in deciding what topics they would like to do. And we ask 3 questions. We just say, like, what do you care about, like in the world? What do you care about? What are the things from media, society that are like triggering you? And we ask that questions on several levels, at home, at school, in my neighborhood, in my country, in the world. This is a brainstorm exercise that you can do at the start of the year, or you can do just print the ikigai canvas and put it in your classroom, and that can just be continue filled with things. Then we ask, like, what do you love to do? What are the things you love to do in your spare time? Like activities you love to do. Believe it or not, if you really ask that questions and give the students the time to answer, you will notice that you found a lot more of points that you connect with that can connect with your lesson topic than initially expected. It's a simple tool, but we thought it was needed because that conversation wasn't always really effective. And then we ask, like, what are your skills, your key skills, in 2 ways. What are the skills that you personally find relevant to develop? And that can be whatever in project-based working, better communication skills, coding, this. A lot of people say, oh, be better at Minecraft. Okay, also possible, but you can do a lot with Minecraft and project-based learning. So we ask, like, what are the skills you want to develop and what are your current skills and expertise? And from that, from these 3 fields, you can pick from each category 1 and design a project. For example, one example we had was like, okay, my grandfather, so topic at home, is not as mobile during COVID and also after COVID. He's not so mobile. What do you love to do? Oh, I love to walk and I love to guide people through the city, he said. And what is your core skill? I'm good at communication. So for this particular person, that was a clear design project. He just wanted to help his grandfather, and by visualizing this in the classroom, they actually managed to get the momentum going that even the teacher just couldn't stop the project anymore, because other pupils also said, hey, we want to do this in our STEM course. We want to work on this topic. And that's a little bit the goal. Okay. That's the Ikigai canvas that you can use. Then we've got the Agile book that's coming. We've got the tutorials of how to work with Mural that are finished, but I wanted to place an intro on it, and then it will be online, so that will be tomorrow or after tomorrow. And then we have here some example projects we created in the project. Let me show you one. So it is a big variety. I looked from projects that started at the 1st and the 2nd year of elementary education to the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, and then secondary education also the first 2 years until the last year. So we have 9 projects, and we actually give an example how you can use design thinking and agile methodologies to set up a project from the 1st year of elementary education until like the last year of secondary education. Let me zoom in one, because we're not going to show them all. They are not all online yet because I'm waiting for teachers to gather the last information and give it to me. Like, for example, this is a special project we did at Vier, another school here in Kortrijk, and we did there a hackathon, a complete hackathon of a school that actually collaborated with Decathlon. For the people from Belgium, you will know Decathlon, the sports store. And the idea of the hackathon was just like, how can we motivate more young people to move more? That was the topic of the hackathon. And they actually had a complete week. They collaborated with West to make prototypes at the end of the week. And they actually did a separate project week to work on the hackathon. Everything they did, every step, every exercise, the timing is online. So if you say, I love the word hackathon, and we have a hackathon specialist, so I need to be careful what I'm saying here. Erwin is the hackathon specialist here. If you want to do a hackathon, these are all the materials that they used and all the exercises that they used to enable and to set up a hackathon, which is just free to download. These exercises you see here, and that's my closing point for the Covideos project. These exercises are actually design thinking exercises that were developed in a previous projects and are also online on designtools.be. Are there people that already know designtools.be, the website? So let me explain. It is, for now, officially an award-winning, yes, 5 minutes, an award-winning design thinking learning pathway. We actually won an award in 2021 as being one of the 5 most inspirational stories in design education worldwide. So we could go to Singapore, but then it was lockdown. It was really stupid. And the idea here is that you have a lot of design thinking solutions out there, but they all are a one-size-fits-all solution. You can find online how you can facilitate an interview with students. You can find that online, but only in one format. And we did a lot of design projects. We integrated design thinking in our projects, but we didn't saw any growth in their 21st century skill, where they're really better communicators, where they're really better critical thinkers, where they're really more creative. We didn't know, because when we compared the results of the first years in the secondary school and the last years in the secondary school, we saw more vocabulary in the 6th year, but not on a design. From a design perspective, we didn't saw like a lot more depth of the prototypes that our last graders did compared to our first graders, which is problematic. So that's why we, like, for these design actions, created a design learning pathway. And we split each design action, like performing an interview. We we developed not one guideline, but we developed up to 4 levels, up to 4 skill levels in complexity. When you are a beginner, you start facilitating an interview using skill level 1. When you have that, when you understand that, you can use level 2, level 3, level 4. Level 4 is just based on professional literature. Yeah, this is design tools, and you can just pick the lesson materials from the website. You have a PowerPoint, a slide deck, and a werkblad if you want one, but we hate them ourselves. But some people love them still. So you can actually download all the materials from the website, and you can plug and play with it to design your own projects. Okay, so this is actually the job I wanted to do in my talk for the biggest part, explain about the Covideos project. To close my talk, because I have 4 minutes left, I guess.
We have questions, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to close my talk by, where is my screen actually? I'm looking for my presentation now here.
Yes, sir.
To close my talk, I want to introduce the follow-up work in AgileXR. And in AgileXR, we will go like double our efforts to spread Agile learning in the province in Europe, bring Agile learning to Europe with a specific scope of making tangible instructional videos on how you can work in an Agile way, not only in the classroom, but especially with the focus using digital tools. We asked ourselves the question, like, how can we facilitate Agile working online using web applications? And how can we facilitate Agile learning using XR application, extended reality application, being virtual reality and augmented reality tools, which is more like discovering the potential of teamwork using XR. I will not go into depth in this topic because we have 3 speakers that all will talk about this throughout the day. Okay, so that's all for me for now. And I hope you enjoy your day, and that the name of this day, that it will be inspirational for you. Thank you.